Welcome to the Fulfill Leadership Podcast. Today we are looking at why it is difficult for your team to implement, even though your team is capable, active, and productive. Let's get into today's episode.
The Fulfill Leadership Podcast.
Here's the truth most founders don't want to face. Your team isn't capable. Your team isn't lazy. Your system is leaking. That's what we call the illusion of progress. Monday feels productive. You explain the vision, you assign the tasks, everyone agrees, but by Friday, that almost done task is almost undone. The strategy is buried, and somehow the work is back on your plate. So you step in, and without realizing it, you train your team to rely on you. But here's the real problem. Most founders think that I need better people, but if capable people keep underperforming, it's not a hiring issue, it's an implementation leak. Execution isn't breaking down because people don't care. It is breaking in the space between what you mean and what they understand. So that space is what we call the gray zone. This is where your business is quietly bleeding. That is the gap between decision and execution. You think everything is clear, but their experience is vague. So they hesitate. Not out of laziness, but because guessing feels risky. It is where your vision leaves your head and lands in someone else's hand. And this is where things quietly fall apart because what's clear to you is often ambiguous to them. So you say, get this done. They hear, what exactly does done mean? So they hesitate, not because they are incompetent, but because they are careful. If a person don't guess, they avoid risks. So they wait for clarity, they wait for feedback, they wait for you. And while they are waiting, execution stops. Silence isn't alignment. That's one thing you should understand. A quiet team can fool you. No complaint, no pushback, no visible resistance. It looks like alignment. Silence in a team isn't peace, it's friction. It means people are stuck politely. They've hit a wall you didn't even realize existed. And instead of breaking through it, they are standing there hoping you notice. So the question is, are you building a team or a dependency? If you are the one constantly stepping in to save execution, you are not scaling a company, you are building a dependency loop. If your team learns, if we wait long enough, the founder will handle it. So they stop pushing, they stop solving, they stop owning, not because they don't want to, because your behavior have trained them to. And now you are trapped. So the more you do, the more they depend. The more they depend, the more you have to do. That's the founder's trap. Execution is not about motivation. That's another hard truth a lot of founders don't want to accept. Your team doesn't need more motivation. They need structure. Execution is not a mood. It is a system. A disciplined environment where action happens automatically, not emotionally. And every high performer team operates on 3 non-negotiables. Let's look at them. Number 1, objective clarity. Everyone knows exactly what finish look like, not vaguely, not conceptually, precisely. If the finish line isn't visible, no one runs. 2, absolute ownership. One task, one owner. The moment ownership is shared, accountability disappears. And when accountability disappears, execution slows. 3, no movement deadline. A real deadline doesn't move. It doesn't bend to pressure or busyness. It forces decision. It forces action. Without it, everything becomes almost done. Here's the real bottleneck. This is where it gets uncomfortable. The bottleneck is likely you, not because you are incapable, but because you've been solving the wrong problem. You've been managing execution manually instead of building a system that sustains it. So you're carrying everything alone. The decisions, the follow-up, the pressure, the unfinished work, and it feels like leadership, but it's actually overload. So this is the shift that actually changes everything. You don't need to push harder. You need to see clearer, because the weight you are carrying isn't the work itself, it's the friction around the work. Remove that friction, execution starts moving without you. So let's find the leak before it breaks you. Most founders try to fix with more meetings, more check-in, more pressure. But it doesn't work because you are treating a symptoms but not the actual problem, which is the system itself. So what you need is a diagnosis, a clear, immediate way to see it, where execution is breaking down and why your team is stalling. So this is exactly why I built the implementation friction audit. It's simple, it's direct, and in less than 5 minutes, you see exactly where your system is leaking. So you can download the implementation friction audit on my execution room on Patreon. The link will be in the description of this episode or as a pinned comment on YouTube. So I want you to stop firefighting and start leading. You didn't build a company to carry everything alone. You build it to scale. But scaling doesn't come from doing more. It comes from building systems that allow execution to happen without you. So if you're tired of being the fallback plan, if you're tired of unfinished work, if you're tired of being the only one who feels the urgency, then it's time to fix the mechanics behind your team. So you can work with me. I'm opening 3 slots this month for a full leadership audit. I will break down your operation across focus, unity, leverage, and implementation using the Fulfill Leadership method, a structured framework I've developed to help diagnose and find where leadership is breaking in your company or your business. So we'll build a structure so your team can execute without your direct involvement. You will live with a clear system, not just ideas. So you can book a leadership audit using the link in the description, or you can send me a direct message on LinkedIn or WhatsApp. But the link to the audit, to book the audit, will be in the description below. If this episode have really been helpful to you, if you gained something from this episode, please do also subscribe and share it to someone who you know will really benefit from this. And with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode.